Quality is key, especially when it comes to aftermarket components. Now, for an aftermarket company to be able to take apart components, understand them, develop their own products in-house will reduce lead times and costs, helping garages to deliver potential price savings to the customers. When it comes to electric vehicles, this is even more critical. Understanding this new technology that is now starting to come into garages in droves is very important. Training is essential, but understanding new parts, new processes, new equipment, and the potential failures that can happen in electric vehicles is really important to be able to give customers quicker turnaround times when the vehicle comes into the garage. This is something that SMP Europe is working on. They have a new garage facility here allowing them to strip down electric vehicles, strip down components and understand key weaknesses and areas that they can develop alongside their own in-house development process for all their other aftermarket components, which helps reduce those lead times and improves the quality of parts that come out to your workshop.
So at the moment, we're currently at the early stages of research in electric vehicles. Currently investigating which components are failing out in the field. One of the challenges that we've currently got at the moment is the fact that EVs are, in relative terms, quite new to the world, basically. We're basically researching components in order to find out which ones are failing, which ones we could potentially remanufacture, refurbish, and provide to customers. One of the main issues that customers have at the moment with EVs is the fact that if, say for example, a Renault Zoe, you take it to Renault, you've then got to wait for the component to be made, you've got to wait for the component to be shipped and delivered, and then your vehicle fixed. Again, that's a ridiculously long lead time. We're here to hopefully provide parts that reduce that lead time and also costs. One of the main parts of it is the cost factor. You know, you go to Renault, you get an electric vehicle component and you could be charged thousands. We've just created a clean room. We're taking electric vehicles apart, essentially, getting them on the bench, getting each individual component that we're aware that's failing out in the field, and then stripping it down to its entirety. Getting out the bench, we've got a really strong electrical team who can then diagnose, work out what's going wrong. And then it's kind of my role to take that step further and introduce that component or part system out into the field. Renault Zoes seem to be a strong contender. They get into that age where parts are failing. They're quite an inexpensive car when you compare it to such likes of Teslas and Polestars. So parts are starting to fail. One component specifically is the air conditioning pump. So this acts as, not only is it an air conditioning pump, it's the heater system as well. So it acts as a heater, it compresses the fluid which then goes around your system to heat your cabin. Not only that, it also cools your battery. So these start to fail, you haven't just got a lack of air conditioning, you've got two other things alongside with that. One of the parts that does fail, specifically within that, is a orbiting scroll. This is a method of compressing the gas within the aircon system. I've got a component here, so this is obviously from a failed system, and as you can see there, we've got some damage around there on that spiral. How this fails, essentially we've got lines coming off the compressed pump, and these eventually flex, the seals fail, and it releases the gas, which alongside the gas you've got your lubricating fluid. The system then heats up, rubs together, essentially creating heat, expands, and then before you know it, you've got a catastrophic failure there. At the moment, I feel garages are almost, reluctant is probably the wrong word, but a little wary of the diagnostic side of things, because you are dealing with typically 400 volts DC, which is a major step up from 12 volts, which what garages are normally used to. So along comes with training. You've got training to deal with, you've got parts, you've got tools that are specific to EVs, and then just the general knowledge side of it. You know, a mechanic could be trained, but the knowledge side of it is completely out there at the moment, or not out there, should I say. It's something that comes with experience, and these are new components, essentially, new products, new components, new vehicles. We are a parts supplier manufacturer. We're able to provide those parts where, say for example, a garage would ring Hevra that would then hopefully, ring us and say, have you got this part? We are then say, yep, we've got it in stock, it's ready to ship out. At the moment, that's unable to happen because there's just nothing out there for the aftermarket EV industry.